Welcome to the stream. We got a game coming up for the fifth place playoff. Amsterdam Lions versus Nordia Lacrosse from Sweden. Amsterdam, of course, from the Netherlands. Um, and so they finished, I think, third in their groups. And so they get to face off today for the fifth place. Um, so both teams very motivated, I think. I think Amsterdam finished fifth year last year. So in a crushing game back then, which you can rewatch, and they immediately win the face-off here, going for goal but losing the ball. Um, we're not sure if we'll have our expert commentator for this game, um, but we'll hope to get him in here soon. So before this game, we had the semifinals won by Amsterdam, and the other semifinals we can inform you they were won by Oslo. So they'll be facing off again in the finals. They faced off yesterday evening yesterday afternoon in a great game, which you can rewatch on our channel. I can highly recommend that after this game because after this game we have a break, and then at 1 we have the finals. So you have time after this game to rewatch the um, Oslo Hamstead game. Um, yeah. So after this field will be empty, and the final teams, the teams playing the finals, so Oslo Hamstead, they will be able to practice on here. So we won't have the third place game here between Hamburg and Rautin. Unfortunately, it won't be live on the coverage. But of course, if you are here or you're looking to go to KGC today, you can definitely catch that game here. So here in our fifth place game, just players getting settling into the game, warming up those legs, just still deliberately passing around. There's no pressure yet to score, and there's also not much pressure from the defense that high, of course. We want to see our first dodge maybe here. No, he's gonna pass it around. They're looking for the matchup. And have they found it here? No, the ball is dropped. Number 8, and a bit slow to the ball. We have a fast break here for Amsterdam Lions. Will we see our first goal? Take it left, shoot it himself, and good save there by the goalie. Taking, and immediately we go back into offense for Nordia. So Nordia again setting things up, passing around. I do like that myself if I play a game to just feel the ball in the game, to get into it, just get a feel for it. And so get a dodge here from X. Ooh. Amsterdam defender first to the ball. Again, racing for goal. Will he pass it this time? No, he shoots himself again. Second time the middies choose to shoot themselves, not pass it off. So maybe some miscommunication there, or we saw a good opportunity. Of course, if you have the angle, you can always shoot. So will we see skipping one? Are they setting up a place? Again, skipping one? He had the matchup, but didn't go for it. A little shot. Good save there by the goalie. Always difficult to save those bouncers. Good challenge there by number 3 of Nordia, but well done by number 11 in transition. Good hustle there, but very high. Goalie has the ball. Oh, perfect, nice clear there. Finding number 4 with the long pole. Number 4, that was. No, this is. I don't have the right sheet here in front of me. Let me find that. All right. So we have the right sheet now. We see Nordia playing it around. Oh, good shot there. But saved by the goalie, Gerben Wesseler. Number 4 for Amsterdam. Again, Nordia set it up here. Keeping the ball in offense. Usually a good thing in lacrosse. Just if you can keep the ball in offense, gives you time for your defense to rest. And you
My shoes don't have a lot of profile. And if I push myself out of the legs, two goes, I push one
I have some good news for you watching at home because I think we found our commentator. So you won't have to deal with me, the emergency commentator. And he's just in time to watch our first goal of the game. Number 21, Matthew Finnegan, scoring for Amsterdam.
You would think that after 3 days of doing this, I would have figured this out by now. Hello everybody, and here we are for the 5th place match. Amsterdam in black against Nordia in white. Nordia playing with the shortest roster of the tournament with 0 subs. Amsterdam now playing in the most serious game of the tournament so far, looking to rank 5th. Nordia have a lot of experience and physicality on them. Amsterdam definitely could look better in ranking than they possibly looked in the group stages, with a rank 5 in the end of the tournament. Nordia clearing the ball. And Alex Adonoff carrying the ball. Now, number 3, Connor Daly on the ball. 18 to 16, back to 18. Considered measured offense. This is what Nordia will need to continue being effective like they have been the last couple of games. And proceed from there. Yesterday they dispatched Belgian champion Brain. Or Brian. I'm still not sure how to pronounce that. Bren. Okay, I could have spelt it like that, but okay. So, against Belgian champion Brent, who offered a spirited play, but couldn't quite come up with a win against them. So now, after one possession and to save, Nordia on their way back. Number 8 in white, Valle Björk, is someone who's been in European lacrosse for the better part of 25 years, if not longer. And he's been instrumental in Swedish lacrosse. Shot, far short angle, saved by the goalie, number 10, Christopher Wall, which is the best name for a goalkeeper ever. Valle Björk being pursued, but one little turn and he's drawn the double, and that's all it takes to be effective. If you play for Nordia, you're going to have to do it all a little bit. Amsterdam now with the ground ball, 11 carrying the ball downfield. Bas Verha looking to carry, decides to move to X, proceeds to set himself up, pass to the right wing to Rutger van Bennekom. Rutger makes the pass, sidestep dodge shot, and it's backed up by 7 black. That was a very effective first step. Here the defensive approach is something that you want to look at. If you approach the ball carrier too fast and without enough control, you're liable to run past them like we have just seen. 69, Daniel Velleman driving down the wing, funneled down by 18 and 15 and white. Ball back up to the weak side. That should be, there was a 3-on-2 here now. Shot, and it's backed up. He does not quite have as strong a left hand as the right hand. We've just seen a very good right hand shot from number 14, Jelle Erik de Vries. But we are now not quite so convinced with the left hand side. I'm also happy to inform you that the other semi-final earlier today resulted in an overtime win by Oslo, meaning that one of the closest games in the Group A that we've seen, namely the 6-5 win of Hempstead over Oslo, sees a repeat in the final. Hempstead had a convincing 17-0 win in their semi-final against a Czech side that was genuinely better than what the record suggests. They didn't have a great game, but it was not a 17-0 loss. So Nordia on the ball. 1-0 Amsterdam. And there is a fair number of dark clouds drawing at us, near us, or past us. We're hoping for no rain yesterday. And also during the Amsterdam game, we had a fair amount of rain that our technological approach here didn't quite accommodate. If there is a blackout at any point in the next minutes, shortly, with some degree of rain just before, it's not that we don't like you, it's that we need to protect the technology. So 16 in white, a couple of checks there. 22 black had looked for the flag beforehand, but it was a trip in the end that drew the flag. Tripping is one of the personal fouls in lacrosse. Personal foul being one that is more dangerous than others. And it is now beginning to rain. Oh, wow, thank you. The women's games are going on as well at the moment, so you can see all of those streamed live. And we have 2 people watching, one of them being my phone. And here we go. Next goal early in the quarter. Amsterdam 2, Nordia 0. And the loud bang you heard before was David Brucey Morris entering as usual with panache and the right sort of effect. How's it going, Brucey?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you excited to see this game?
I am, yeah.
Well, the upside is we have a certain degree of rain shelter here, which our friends down there cannot quite enjoy.
I've judged the wind correctly with the
Yeah, the rain comes from the left. I'm sitting to Brucey's left, so I'll get wet first. That's always good. So here are 2-0. Nordia with 10 guys. Amsterdam, definitely a competent side. We need to ask the question whether they brought everyone they could have brought. And Nordia traveled very far with 10 people. So a lot of respect for that, because Sweden is not a small country. And going this far to be here is quite the record.
It's been good. There's been quite a few players missing. In fact, quite a few teams missing from this men's tournament due to the World Indoors coming up at the end of the month, and obviously some of those teams that have won their national championships have a lot of players in those national box teams, and so they've taken the decision, possibly wisely.
Yeah, we had that discussion as to what people can do. Well, lacrosse being an amateur sport, most players are self-financed, and there is only so much money in your wallet, and if you have to prioritize, I think you should always prioritize your country, in particular in the championship year. It's a 2-year cycle to prepare. It takes daily sacrifice and effort to be remotely ready to play. So hidden ball trick, 2 still has it. Everyone Nordia saw it. Amsterdam on the wing dodge, left to right split, up, down, and Christopher Wall. That is the best goalie name ever. I really want to know how he became a goalie, but
if only his first name was Brick.
Shall we put the 30 euros in the box to give him a deed poll change and give him a chance to be Brick Wall for a day?
They're kind of permanent, those name changes.
Yeah. Maybe we just call him Brick Wall from here. Maybe we'll take a creative liberty here and call it Christopher, aka Brick Wall. He had a stormer. He had a stormer of a game most of the time I've seen him play. So.
Well, this is the thing. When you bring 10 guys, if you play a certain way and your goalkeeper creates lots of turnovers, you're able to manage the game a lot better.
And if you have the skill set and experience like Nordia has.
Yeah, shots like that though do not help.
There is a lot of things that doesn't help, and one of the things I've observed here is every time the rain or the weather goes towards more fertile, rainy and wet, like right now. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry, we're just adjusting our seating. So we are back now that we have withdrawn deeper into the shelter from the rejuvenating, refreshing, and fertile weather around here.
There's blue skies everywhere except field day.
I personally think that every time you touch a lacrosse stick, your personal rain cloud materializes a little bit more, so the 20 guys on the field are firmly to blame for this. It's just one thing I never quite understood was, in particular in England, why do we play in the worst weather, Brucey? Why? What have we done?
It's that tradition, that 2 p.m. Saturday winter tradition, because there isn't anything else to do. If we didn't play lacrosse, what would we do in the rain?
I would be lost, but here we go. So, 7, free in front of the goal, misses a shot. Christopher, aka Brick Wall, had a read on the ball regardless. And New Amsterdam ball going from here. Still 2-0 in the second quarter.
Amsterdam are finding the feeds very well, but they're just failing to finish. And Nordia obviously having to break back in that unsettled offense in defense.
But 2 goals is something I think that that Nordia can process, and they have the individual defense here to go through, and they're assertive in their defense, if we want to find a polite word for physical. Here we go for a go to, and nice little finish. That's the thing you can't do. Goalie on the move. Dip and dunk finish. 3-0 Amsterdam. Nordia needs to find some answers. We need to start with the face-off and get a good possession. Get some air in the ball. Not play so much defense. And then we will likely do better. And it's not for nothing, huh? It's like for rank 5 or 6 in Europe.
Yeah.
This isn't your typical fun tournament Sunday placement game.
Well, this is the thing that's changed over the KGC over the last, say, 5 years, is the seriousness that the teams and the nations and the NGBs have given to this tournament to send their best players,
yeah,
and make sure that their national competition is the most competitive it possibly can be, so that the teams coming here really represent their countries well.
Yeah. Here off the face-off, a nice little play, but the cross-crease pass glanced off. So Amsterdam now looking to score in the settled possession, changing personnel. That's one of their keys to the game. Use your bench. If you can make Nordia run more than they would like by using a broader group of players, that will work. But you have to say thank you to 18 here, who saved that pass. That was straight at his feet. From the Eggs, nice shot. And this is the sort of shot on goal that if you want to win, you cannot have happen, because the goalie's on the move, has no time to read the ball, and that turns him from a brick wall into just a Christopher wall. So, and that's a nice grab. And he has done these little plays the whole tournament. It's like one of the things I really like about the Nordia keeper is his unwillingness to make mistakes. Like
an unorthodox attempt there, cheeky.
Yeah.
Almost came off, but the Christopher Wall was there to see that slap shot from the knees on the floor.
Yeah, well, if the result's right, that's all that matters.
Which is a good player.
So here we go. Nordia on the ball. And oh no, that's very unfortunate. Offside. Oh, that's when you get tired. It's like someone was asking me quite about a year ago about what it would take to win a game in the Belgian league for Luxembourg, and I said making fewer mistakes than the others. And yet we still make more mistakes than the others, but we have another season ahead of us, so keep your eyes peeled.
All he had to do there was not run as far as he did before he made that pass.
There is a lot of times when I wish my players would just not do so many things at the same time. It's like you want to play defense, it's just two big steps towards the ball, 2 little steps to break, knees over your toes. That's a good start. I don't need you to use your stick for that.
And the reason the Amsterdam players are finding so many feeds is because at the moment the Nordia players, their physicality is fantastic, but they're just ball watching a little bit too much.
Yeah, they come out of the shell the moment that they're there, and they're clearly keen on achieving something. But here is a good example. They committed 2 players to this, and he craftily rolls the ball to 14, who then recycles the ball. So you expend a lot of energy on getting a decent shot, and there was a nice face dodge there. Really wished he would have gone high to low on the shot there. And here is the ball, number 2 on X. From to 18. 49 cycling through. 7 looking for something. Open crease, now space at the wing. Shot.
Against the pipe.
Yeah, the pipe's the goalie's friend. Counts as part of the keeper. That's where you should hug it. And that's slow feet right now. Nordia gets a little bit tired.
There you go. Great position, great footwork by the goalie there.
And just read the ball. Huh? He saw exactly where it was. Uses not all that much space. Through good, clean pass to the outlet. Roller Björk, number 8 on the ball.
And Amsterdam there, just the ball just a little bit in front when catching and shooting. Could have taken a little bit more time to just bring the stick back a little bit more to find something that wasn't in the keeper's left hand.
Yeah, you're up by 3, and 2 of these goals, you had the goalie on the move, and the first one, I'd wager, without having seen it, that you had Christopher Wall on the go as well. And a step on the line, that's unlucky. Otherwise, a decent step. So this question mark dodge is one of the things that Nordia are quite good at, because they got the size and the speed, and they are able to execute in a targeted way. Amsterdam looking to clear, clean pass to the long stick, and so there's a short stick moving over. We'll get him player back to.
Got a substitution on for the pole.
I'd always say if you don't have to cross, don't, because you never know whether someone else has done something stupid, and 49 was already there. So, but that's me being nitpicky. Amsterdam are doing a very good job of managing numbers and game time here, and it's dry again. After we've been rained on quite significantly for what felt like a long time, it actually wasn't. And now here's a little backhanded shot. Keeper read that and way to goose the ball, pick it up, look to the center. That could be numbers. If he gets a hold of this, he has numbers on his, or he had numbers. Now, Nordia have a substitution player. I had not realized that. They actually have one. Yesterday they only had 10, so that they.
Number 18 just forcing that pass a little bit after they had a great clear. And I feel that they just need to.
I just don't need the long pole to dodge here, because that goalie says thank you very much every time, and that's not a bad idea to make the pass, and he gets there. That's so look at 5 at the crease. He had a look and time. So second quarter, 3-0. That's not really the score you want to stay calm on, I would say. 3-0 is you're not home yet. There is could be 3-1. Maybe next year we have the drone to look exactly where the line was. So you're involved with South English Lacrosse, and we mentioned earlier a little bit in like kind of general lacrosse talk how the Southern English League is organized. So you and Rob Gooch, right?
Yep.
You were spearheading a change in the from the old system that I still got to know, with a premiership at the top, and then there were 2 trees of hierarchy in the west and in the east. And now you have, and the flags competition is still there.
Yep. Knockout cup competition.
There is a much loved live draw of it most of the time, which you have you done it this year already?
It's already been done. It happened at Berlin with Ryan Wallace as the co-presenter.
There you go.
Jimmy Steinmetz as the cameraman, and Dennis Tobin and Toby Cleaver-Ross as our 2 spectators.
Outstanding.
It's fantastic. We had one live viewer.
That's what you would like. So
John Hubbard was very appreciative again.
Yeah, if he sees us now, hi John. So the weather has improved. Our mood has improved too. If Nordia wants to be happier than 8-3 goals. But yeah, so we were talking about the flags and the league. So there is now a competitive league. I called it that, not knowing what I should call it.
Yeah, the regional league, which leads to the Premiership.
So there's a regional league going to the Premiership. So if you want to win the title, you have to win your regional league, get promoted all the way up, and then win the Premiership.
Yes.
Then if you win that, you can go play against the NEMLA, Northern English Men's Lacrosse Association champion, and then you can come here and play in the Galluccio Cup. That's a solid 25 games you have to play for that?
No, so we've split it. So if the regional league works the same as the old league. However, instead of 10 or 11 teams per league, we only have 7 as maximum.
7, so that's 12 games.
And so so we have far fewer games in that league to be able to win to the Premiership, but it means that each league is far more competitive. So we still have Premiership, Division 1 and Division 2 before it splits off into East and West. And then, so this means that teams that used to be great in the West, when they get promoted, need to do the travel, even though that they might not be in the Premiership, which was the only case before, where the Premiership teams in the East and West would need to travel. Now it's all the way down to Division 2, to the 21st team. But to fill up the rest of the schedule, we also have a local league, which are small rings of maybe about 50 miles in radius, 60 kilometers, that that mean that teams within that only have to travel to those local teams so that they reduce their travel. Because
So,
this is the problem that we were having. We had
yeah.
teams that were in the same general area of England,
Yeah.
however, they were pretty weak, and because of the league structure, say in the fourth division,
Yeah.
they would need to travel a long way with just students or just 10 players or maybe even fewer, say from Brighton to North London.
Yeah, I think Brighton to London was one of the I think the most annoying thing with travel in South England is that from Brighton to the border of London isn't that bad, but then the last 10 kilometers can take forever.
Hmm. And the same on the other way. If you are
Yeah.
traveling by public transport, it is a taxi every single time you reach one of the stations.
Yeah.
And so what we decided to do was make these little local leagues of maximum 4 teams, and so that's 6 games per for each team. So that adds up to hopefully 18 for all teams. So it's the same amount of games as previously
Yeah.
for each of the teams.
But
However, they play 6 of their games, hopefully traveling no more than an hour each way.
so if you're recently promoted because of all your hard work in the office, despite your avid lacrosse career, you still have a lot of games you can go to. Do you have If you play in the flags as well, then you have 3 things to play for.
Hmm.
So even if one competition doesn't go your way, there is 2 more chances to bring home some silverware.
And it means also because previously we didn't allow second teams to get promoted past a certain
Yeah,
level.
there was always a big discussion about that.
And so now in the local league, the second teams can rise right to the top. And so in the London One, London
Oh,
Division One,
that's
which
good
is
lacrosse there.
Hampstead, Hillcroft, Spencer. Um, who else is in that group?
Blues?
Blues are not in that group. Um, Blues are with the East Grinstead group,
Oh,
basically. But
that makes sense.
it means that Hillcroft B and Spencer Twos can win the Division One, whilst obviously it remains still in the Premiership. So to be able to come to the KGC, the twos teams cannot get promoted into that Premiership still.
Yeah, but even if you're the 15th or 16th player in the roster and you're at almost Premiership level, before you sometimes just had to go to either a smaller club and play there,
Hmm.
or you just kind of accepted that you would not go to Premiership ball. Now you have a much more realistic pathway there.
Hmm.
So, but back to KGC Lacrosse, 69 on the ball, looking to dodge, gets an angle, takes a shot. Bounce shot's never a terrible idea.
Number two has just put his body on the line to
So
stop a shot.
that's what you do when you play defense. You kind of you park your sense of self-preservation at the line. One thing I will say is always wear a cup. Like there's two ways you learn how to do that. One is you listen to the advice, and the other one is you buy one afterwards when you haven't.
Hmm.
The latter route is much more painful. So Amsterdam, smooth ball movement, but Nordia do a good job of denying the pass and moving around, and the referee took a good decision here, not letting things escalate because that got chippy very fast. And first of all, if Nordia buy anyone a beer, it must be their goalies. The guy hasn't made a mistake in the 2 games I watched him play. And so Nordia now calmly set themselves up for their possession, and they need to break the ice. How can we go about it?
And I think Nordia at half time just gave a little chat to their offense, just to calm things down a bit. This is far better, spinning the ball rather than taking the first feed, first cut.
Yeah, it's an infuriating experience personally. You've just played 3 minutes of defense, and then someone thinks that because Lyle Thompson can pass through five big sticks into the stick of Lyle Thompson, that we need to emulate that. So, and Nordia driving to the cage. Now recycling, and if that hurts. That's a tough loss of the ball. But they have one extra body now. That 11th man makes a big difference. It's a whole different way to play the game now. Because now you can put a fourth big stick on the field. You can deny one more dodger. To be seen where this will go now. Here we go with the clear. Very short pass. Here's an opening on the right. Makes it a comfortable pass. I like that. And 14 on the far side shows good awareness on relieving the offside, and then realized it wasn't quite necessary, but just the precaution of stepping over helps. So Amsterdam moved to offensive personnel, 11 on the ball, cycling to 21, shifting over, 7, Benzauer, De Vries, face dodge, shot, much better shot than before, but again, the goalie is not on the move. It is hard to beat him not on the move. And Nordia commit to the defense here, huh? They're happy to go after someone if they see the need to.
And that's the thing, when you have confidence with your goalie, you know that
Outside net, no goal. Looked pretty good. That's De Vries' third shot from that position.
you know you can take some risks. And it's
Yeah.
a good lift.
That was a beautiful little way to play the game. It's these little things, and here, oh, that's unlucky. That was if he controls that on the trail, that would have been a nice little goal. So back to the other side, De Vries on the ball. And here we go where we talked about the long stick comes in from behind, and just because that's crafty by number 2, just staying in the way of the man letting his teammate have the ball. And a miracle check. The reason we call it a miracle check is that normally it takes a miracle for this check to achieve anything other than the flag. If you have the wrong kind of referee in terms of assessing these, and they want to put a focus for you on no one-handed checks, this is a safe way to draw a minute. So Amsterdam made some last-minute changes. Nordia led them. Nordia to the right, going through goal. They have a few opportunities here to go. 3 certainly over. They get away with that.
A little bit of a pick and a sweep up top.
Yeah.
Move it around. Again, you can see Amsterdam really getting drawn in on this. This backside
what I
slide.
don't like is how silent they are. No one says a word. It's like no one says I have ball, I have left, I have right, and so 18 now has some separation here, and can quite control. Doesn't quite see it. Nice pickup, transition play. He has to push the tempo to capitalize, or has to stop. That should be a shot now. No, doesn't want to shoot it. Maybe learned his lesson from the first time he tried to beat Christopher Wall in the goal. So that's unlucky for Nordia, because that was one minor personal mistake that cost them a good amount of effort here. De Vries with his 4th shot, but he gets just enough defense that it's not quite on target. And I get the impression that the goalie isn't particularly worried at this point.
And that's the thing, when you know the goalkeeper's good, it puts more pressure on you when you're going down the angle to find a faster, harder shot closer to the angle.
Yeah. And the mental factor in lacrosse is huge.
And he just pulled it wide.
Yep. It's a lot of things that are integral to good delivery, and they all start with doing the small things right. But if you're mentally pre-engaged, there was a flag that went square on the helmet, and they're looking to, and that was assertive in the last 10 seconds. Unlucky on the slide, then he came down with the stick straight on the helmet. That certainly wasn't the intention.
This is what happens when you try and make those big takeaway checks. I don't think Nordia need to make those, because Amsterdam have started this quarter pretty hot.
If they just get a poke check on the lower hand, Amsterdam will struggle to make the pass.
And their keeper's able to turn so much over, and feeds inside like this. They're playing much better on covering everything up. You just don't need that takeaway.
And Amsterdam is slow to get up here, and again, so I was going to say everything that is not from what women's crosser would have see as the inner fan markings, everything that's not from there, and ideally paired with having the keeper on the move, you shouldn't shoot at this keeper anymore.
Mm-hmm.
One of the worst things you can do is play against a keeper who is not only good but has confidence because he's just made 10 saves in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And you've given Mr. Wall here the idea that he just might be that guy for the rest of the game. So you need to do something. You've but you're right. It's daunting for the attacker because you're in front of goal, and you know that the last 4 times this didn't quite go your way. And if it's really bad, you could just eat the shot, throw it over your head, and you look on as your team concedes a goal on a fast break. So 3 with a shot.
And this is what we haven't seen from Nordia. We haven't seen any opportunity
Yeah.
for them to shoot. They've slowed their offense down, so they're keeping more possession of the ball. Now they just need to start creating the opportunities.
Yeah, no more individual mistakes. No more skipping a pass. No more having a glance off your stick one pass before you get the shot. And then that could be our look here. And please tell me they back this up. Just about. That's one of the gripes of every developing coach is not backing off the ball.
Especially from a pole shot from 20 meters away.
Well, it's the most glorious of goals, a long pole goal, and the PLL certainly make an effort to advertise them to everyone. So.
Where's our 2-point line, hey?
Where is that? Why is there no 2-point line in European lacrosse? Well, the answer is in the name. It's European lacrosse.
What happens in Ghent? What happens in Ghent stays in Ghent.
So Nordia are keeping the long pole up front, so they rest one of their short sticks.
Feed inside.
And 18 here marking 2, haven't taken a little break.
And this is one of the things, is when you...
we would like to see the stick out front. Good body.
Yeah, very nice.
Good way to move down. Has to recover to GLE. Does so. Good check on the way out. There is never a free pass or shot here with those big sticks. Every time the ball goes, there's still a perfectly clean and legal check coming your way that will be having an impact. And this is a sort of clear that relies on your...
5 just needed to pick that up and continue rolling through X on that. Didn't need to turn back.
It's just 3 steps to daylight. It's just you have it, and then you just keep going the way that you were. You can go 45 degrees left or right, but that's all that you need to do.
And Nordia have done very well. It's still scoreless in this third quarter now.
Yeah, 3 goals is not much, but there also isn't all that much time. So unless you break the ice here and get a goal in, this just might be enough. Because you're not seeing the shot volume that Amsterdam had. De Vries himself had 5 shots in the direction of the cage, 2 on target. You need that volume. At the end of the day, you want to shoot well, but the Dutch keeper hasn't been tested much, and you want to give that goalie the chance to let one in. If all you're doing is 5-6 passes and then turn it over, hard to score the goal. And they won't get a transition goal because they're not moving the ball fast enough upfield for that. They're too measured in there, and they're clear for that. And as much as you say defense wins championships and offense wins games, is you need a little bit of offense to win a game.
That's the thing, like when Nordia played a lot better in offense, but they're still not committing enough slides on their dodges to be able to make their feeds effective.
Yeah, it seems to me that we're like one pass away from the right shot. It always seems that one pass before, like they start shifting the defense around and getting it out of sync with the ball. They start creating space, and then something unfortunate happens, and it's that much harder for them to proceed to produce a quality shot. And the absence of transition makes it that much harder. But let's not forget that Nordia is full of players that can play, that have played at this level.
I mean, they've qualified for the 5th, 6th, so...
Yeah, and let's not forget that Nordia gave Hamburg, who were in the semifinal, a very good game for 3/4 of the game, and they were in there, and they were with 10. So this is definitely a team that that can produce and that can produce results. So
Here
3
we
on the
go.
ball. That's a lot more like it. We're hoping that 5 has the backup. 16 is not entirely sure that he would agree, but gets away with that. One of the ongoing crises in sports, there's always a crisis in sports, is the officiating crisis. It's not so bad around here, but in the US you can read a lot about many sports losing their officials. I think in European lacrosse, I think we're doing quite well in treating the zebras the way they need to be treated, because no officials, no game.
The one thing that is a little bit different is the amount of officials that we're being able to bring in. It is increasing, however, for the amount of growth that we've had in playing numbers, we haven't quite caught up in the amount of zebras that we do have
Yeah,
available.
yeah, that's
Especially
very
at,
true.
especially at this middle ranking level, we've got quite a few. Quite a few new officials that have come here, not new, but new to this level, and it's important that we continue bringing them through the ranks,
Yep.
and so that they can step onto bigger games when they get back home to their country, start doing their own national championships, because referees do leave and they do retire, and we can't continue to consistently have the same group of officials. The World Cup in Netanya in Israel in 2018 saw 91 officials attend, which was essential for the growth of the officiating pool for men's in Europe
And,
and the rest of the world.
and
East Asia's brought a lot of officials too.
one of the things that's worthwhile thinking about is lacrosse is a great game. It's a physical sport, and you're not 20 forever. But you can officiate until you're easily 60, as long as you make sure you do the odd run every now and then. And you stay on top of the vast variety of skills you need to have, because the number of decisions you have to take as an official in any invasion game is significant. It's a continuous number of assessments you have to do, and I think from a personal angle, it's a great job to do. And if you can find some passion in it, it makes a massive difference for everyone, and you're the person enabling the game to happen. I personally quite enjoy refereeing in Belgium. It's really good fun to go. We get to play a game, and then you put the stripes on and manage the game. Um, I was allowed to participate in a league decider, and initially I was like, is this going to be fun? And I tell you what, it was fun. It was a tight game initially, and we had some tough decisions like simultaneous fouls and this and that, and really went into the depth of the rulebook. I felt they were trying to test me, but we did all right, and we kept the game flowing, and the players were appreciative, and it was great.
And this is what is quite different about European lacrosse in the officiating world, is that because of the game day situations where you have another few teams turn up that won't be on field at that time, you have the opportunity to bring the officials in those teams through the system. In the UK, we usually have just one team versus another, and the officials need to come from somewhere else. But we've changed it this year in the fact that in the new developing regions, so in the peninsula, so in Cornwall and Devon,
This is in the UK.
in the UK,
Yeah.
and in the Midlands, where we're bringing more teams and hopefully starting. At the moment, we only have 3 men's associations, but we're hopefully the Midlands can become a 4th. At the moment, they're covered by the South, but the Midlands can be their own 4th. And to do this, we've put game days on where a 3rd team will turn up, provide the officials for the other game, and then play themselves. And so we've taken that European model
Yeah.
into our system, and it's worked fantastically well to bring those officials too. Another feed
And there we
inside.
go, feed inside, and they finally find a way to not give the keeper the chance to read the ball well, and that immediately results in a score. So De Vries gets to the 4-0 score. This is a bad time to concede a goal.
Yeah, just at the start of the 4th, we were just maybe a little bit, just saw a lot of sticks swinging on those checks, and we just needed a bit of body there on that
Yep.
catch.
You shouldn't have that. Ideally, if you're fresh, if it's your first game of the day and you had a good night's rest and you're fully switched on, he will not catch that ball. But it's been 3 days of lacrosse. This is their final game. Everyone likely feels the impact of playing on the field. So
There's nothing wrong with a loose ball push on crease.
oh yeah, it's okay. It's a penalty I'll give away. because it's it's not malicious, it's not dangerous,
I mean,
and
I
and
prefer them
here,
to keep possession than to concede a goal.
yeah, it's also just you've from a defensive angle shown that it's not going to be a free pass to the crease. There will be a consequence of trying to be in front of goal. Because it is a contact sport. That's why we all play it. And one of my favorite things about lacrosse, you can see now, is yes, okay, there is a score line, but there is definitely something that can be done. And Nordia could be even within
It's a great
minutes. And
left
here
to
we
right
go.
switch.
That could be the icebreaker. Ah, not quite there. Bounces 11 on the backup. Neatly done. So
No, and Nordia just need those
they just need
little
they just
opportunities
need
to
one
fall for
hole
them.
in the wall. They just need to get somehow on target and onto the scoreboard. That will not do it. That's a
And this is what they were doing in the first half. They just need to, and they didn't in the second. And they look for good opportunities. They're just a little bit unlucky.
look at that lift check from 2 though. That was beautifully done.
Oh, almost on the intercept.
Yeah, 18 had 2 almost on the intercept. That's definitely trying to make up for that shot that he just unleashed there. Rolly Björk at the top, marking 2.
And I think they haven't changed the score. I think it's 4-0
I'm
after
pretty
that
sure it's
last.
4 zip because it was 3-0 at halftime. It came in and then they scored. So we have, however, no direct link to the bench, and the official score is on the score sheet, not on the flipboard. So
And it's a good check there.
and
Here
now
we go.
this is exactly the defensive adjustment we were hoping for. A good, well-timed, controlled check on the stick. If this is something that you find yourself having to do, you don't have to wind up. All you have to do is be on top of the opponent's stick and push your hands down. That's all that's necessary.
Accuracy, not power. The
Yeah.
accuracy.
And we're speaking of accuracy, and number 7 Ben Zauer shows exactly what we're looking for. They found a hole in the wall, so to say. So Christopher Wall couldn't quite stop that one. But Nordia seem to suffer fatigue a little bit. I get the impression that this is
The slides of
it's just the style of play that they had is taxing, and Rolla Björk is a highly experienced player. He has to win this face-off to avoid an immediate transition. If you look at the positioning of the wings, they're as far down to their own goal as they can be. They kind of anticipate that this might not go their way. Oh, swinging sticks everywhere. Here comes it. And it's a shot. So one player playing body defense on that, and that ball is on the ground. One. But if everyone swings the stick, it's not going to work.
And I take it that yeah, that Fogel, he isn't a left-handed backside of the stick shooter.
Yeah. Static. So we may have a technical problem here. So if you wanted to see something, we'll just have a quick look. Yeah, no, just keep watching. And there's a shot. 69 driving possession. He had a couple of good ones. Driving from Max. Amsterdam looking to initiate. And they have a matchup. Feed to the crease. One-handed shot. Outside net. First of a ball on the ball. '15 takes the ball.
He's going to need to move it. He's going to get pressured. Oh, he's done very well to
That
walk
was
through
a
that.
nice little squeeze escape there. And he ran straight to the right position where he wanted to be. Now the short stake on the ball. Amsterdam decides to pressure. Not a bad decision game management wise, and that was a bad decision passing wise. It's just Nordia just seemed to struggle to get a few things going their way. That's to some degree that intercepted pass is bad luck, and they had a bunch that they just didn't quite catch, and it's just been that much more difficult. 18 on the ball, doorsteps. Then Christopher Wall one more time. Honestly, without their goalie, Nordia would be down by a few more, and this will be all but over. So if Nordia can find a way to win this, that's them. The road to winning this will be by breaking the ice, cutting the deficit, and then overcoming it. Timeout call. We can take the opportunity to say thank you to Honix, who have provided uniforms. Did you wear one of these today?
I did.
Just how nice are they?
They're so nice. The fit, unfortunately, isn't long enough. So I have very happy.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's worthwhile knowing. Honix support to the referees helps us have more officials, and the more officials we have, the better it is. There has been growth in Europe, as Percy outlined, and that's been something that needs to be. We need to do two things in officiating. We need to have more, and we need to have better referees everywhere, because the better the referees are, the better everything else. Ken Galluccio, the guy this is named after. So one of the stories that's worthwhile knowing about Ken is Ken played for Germany in an international match, and during that match, an unfortunate incident occurred that changed the game outcome in a way that wasn't in his favor. And rather than getting upset with a referee, Ken took it upon himself to build refereeing in Germany the way that he did, with 4 officials at every game, a database, and many, many other things. And that legacy is still running around in Europe, because in Belgium we also have 4 referees at every game, and that is also because the neighbors showed them that was the way to do it. So it's nice to see Honig help make that sort of legacy happen some more. Ken Galluccio left us about 10 years ago. I think it's 10 years this year. I think
it's 10 years. Yes.
It's always a sad day when that comes up, when you know that he left. But I assure you, he's up there somewhere right now, berating the officials. He has noted down about 10 things that could, and stuff like, timeout's not quite right. I had an assessment with him where I was 3 seconds off on a timeout.
Henning.
I know. And it was a league game with a 15-goal margin.
Still 3 seconds too many, my friend.
Yeah. It's seeing this tournament happen with his name on is amazing, and we're all very privileged to be here.
And this is good play by Amsterdam. They're still moving the defense around. They're still creating opportunities.
Yeah.
They haven't, even though the score, Nordia do not look like coming back into this game, but the score is still close. Amsterdam are still aware that they need to continue to keep the momentum in their favor.
Yeah, they're not done yet. There is a bit more work to be done. It's not an excessive amount of work and goals that's needed, but you still have to move your feet, you still have to make the passes, and you still have to figure out how you're going to get to goal. Nordia seem to be pushing out a little bit more. Well, one of the things to think about is how much time is left in the game. So and where are you? How are you going to work your way to the next possession? So here we are with an unlucky turnover.
Two good pushes, a good ground ball, and they just flip it. Try to through a player, and it's just intercepted.
Just give yourself the opportunity to be good at what you want to be, by making it consistently better the whole time. So
that's a good little 2-on-1. Some draw and dumps.
Well,
some good, but the angle for number 5 was that.
Haven't quite seen it.
Just a little close.
Rick van Bennekom carrying the ball in, passing to 11. Bas Verhaas on the ball, pressured by 4. Player without a name to the number.
Good lift. That's a great
nice
lift.
Little touch there, and a bit of physicality on the field. And here we are with a loose ball push. Okay. It's not a big price to pay, losing the ball here.
No, but after some good, it could have been called interference. Maybe.
Yeah, I could have gone the other way.
Big accident to put him onto the floor. But yeah, Nordia are back, defending well, lifting well. Number 2's done well to save that off his knees and take the ground ball away from his pole.
Yep. There's a shot, if not entirely dangerous, but if you're not attempting to push to goal, one of the things I think that you have to do is that regardless of where you're score-wise, you kind of consistently have to do the things you're supposed to do, and that includes catch, take a step to the cage, and see what's happening in front of you.
That triple threat position.
You just might surprise yourself. I've had that more than once
That's
in
a
the
great
game,
fake.
and the great fake, and then
Just
the
freezing
shot.
that slide. So that pole there, I can't quite see it's number 4, was just frozen by just that fake, just because he thought he was going to let it go. Just gave himself another step.
And it gave the keeper one more thing to process, and that's what helped that's what helped the goal go in. Just can't say that enough. If you're in a game of lacrosse and you're quite sure whether you should try something or not, odds on, try it. If it goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. Maybe don't do it in the final of a tournament in the last minute on an EMO opportunity. But if you're in practice somewhere and you're not sure if you can throw behind the back, try it.
Ooh, what early movement there.
Yeah, but if you know that you have a problem coming back in time, would you just commit the foul and just say, oh, oops, sorry?
Well, this is the problem, is in you will start to get flagged for fouls if you intentionally continue to lose the face.
Yeah,
And
okay. If you do it 4 or 5 times in a row,
that is the risk that that will happen.
That's what they changed in the US for it, didn't they? That's why they installed a procedural call there, because there was too much deliberate bad face stuffing, because it killed the fast break every time. One player down. So C seems like a scrape.
It's a good feed inside and a good body. There we go. That's what we want to see from number 8. Really put his guy on the floor. Next time, you might not think about catching and shooting immediately, hey?
Well, you want defense to be as unavoidable as the taxman. That's the way to look at that. So, Matt, we're hearing the call from attack. Match feet, everybody. They're looking to shut out everyone bar the keeper. Roller Björk is not the man you're going to take the ball away from.
And this is just some good movement from Nordia there.
Yeah, and it's all nifty, small steps. There's nothing huge. There's no 20-yard sprint to get to space.
And just passes to good places on sticks.
One of the best bits about lacrosse is just that the stick, the technical nature of the stick, allows you to be effective whether you're tall or not so tall, fast or not so fast. Like if you can throw and catch well, then you have somewhat of an understanding of where to be at what time. You can be a very, very good player. There is a certain 44-year-old gentleman in an American professional sports league, listening to the name of John, who arguably is not winning the sprint contest in that league, but he still produces a fair amount of goals.
Still breaking points records. Still breaking goals records, regular season.
I think that at the point where you're getting marked by someone literally half your age, and you put 10 points away.
Maybe not that many, but it's still a lot.
Oh, it's, with Ohio, didn't you have a?
At the 7-point game is his largest total so far, but it's so regular. When you have those skills and you're able to just do the little things, and that's all it takes. It's just the little things. When you perfect them, then effectively you'd say these younger, athletic, stronger guys are actually at a disadvantage because their brain is slower than yours.
Yeah, they would. One of the things that I found when I have to help out playing in TAC is I find it a lot easier with every season that I play to know where to go, just because you've been in the wrong place so many times, and eventually you figure out where the right place is.
Exactly.
But here we go. Nordia looking for something. They put 3 on the crease. It's a nice little stack play. It spreads out space and allows them to go somewhere long.
It's a bit of a 1-for-1 they're using here.
Yeah.
And it's a risky pass, but it's moved the pole.
It's a nice.
And they're rotating the crease well, but that's the problem is when.
I'm surprised there is no flag here. Oh, 16 from Amsterdam is testing the patience here.
And I think he was lucky not to get that 30-second
there.
Here we go.
Okay, and they stopped the clock. There was some sort of impact they did not appreciate. seems to be somewhat hurt, but he got up right away. If you need medical help, you have to substitute off. Oh, we just got a load of water on our heads. A gust of wind drew up the tarp, and there was some water in it. And as this happens, Nordia breaks the ice.
I haven't seen a thing of that. I'm soaked.
I'm sorry. We'll
have to watch it tape again.
we'll rerun this a bit later, but if getting rained on and a gust of wind is what it takes for Nordia to score, then I will do that. So 6-1. Can't be terribly much time left in the game. 12:30 is the next one.
I'm not sure.
So-
I think the clock's on the field.
Oh, clock's on the field. Ah,
Yeah.
it's okay. So, at the very least, Nordia got the goal they deserved, and that's why they called the timeout. Then they want to make sure they had one quality goal in that.
And they've also potentially won the fight. Here we go.
There we go. One
Here
more.
we go.
One more long pole goal. Come on, go all the way. No, just
It's
why?
good take. Boom.
I think even
That's
the
highlight reel. That's a great
highlight reel.
tale.
I'm so
Great
excited that we said one more long pole goal and we got it. I thank you to Nordia Lacrosse.
A long pole winning the
long
face,
pole.
taking it over. An incredible catch by number 3, Connor Daly, moving it to the pole at the very back and just absolutely gunning it high to high.
For glory. That's a great way to finish that. 5th and 6th ranked at the Galluccio Cup. Number 5 Amsterdam, number 6 Nordia with the shortest roster on the field and the best long pole goal in the tournament.
Wow.
That was very much fun to see. We hope you enjoyed it as well. The next games live will be the finals. At 1 p.m. You will be treated to a rematch of Hampstead and Oslo. Both teams are certain they can win that game. That's a good precursor for an intense bit of lacrosse coming your way. And we'll be live from about from the first face-off onwards, and then it is by 1 p.m. Many thanks to Mr. Morris for being here with us.
Pleasure, Henning.
Outlined it. Always a pleasure. And then we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much, and see you at 1.